Excellent. Well, welcome everybody. We're so excited here for the round two shrink size finale webinar. And as you can see, I have a very special guest. Very excited that she's on board with me for the finale webinar. So grab your pen and paper. You're gonna want to have that handy. And because we're gonna have a lot of fun here, you're gonna interact. Caitlin's gonna be walking through some of this with us. So definitely, buckle in, get ready for an impactful webinar, you guys. With that said, we'll get started right away. And I want to start off, obviously, by having our guest share a little bit about herself. You guys all know who I am at this point. And I do want to say that we have our disclaimers. We are going to be talking about results, and we're going to be talking about favorite products, and we're going to just be talking about TLS. So we do have some disclaimers there for you. We're talking about, oh, by the way, just a quick reminder before we get into Caitlin's story. Being that this is the end of the Shrink-A-Size, and I know some of you started maybe like a week late or something like that, but definitely mark in your calendar when you're taking those after photos after the 5 weeks are finished. So for many of you, for most of you, that is Monday. And so you're going to take your measurements, you're going to want to take your weight, and you want to take your after photo. But most importantly, grab those shorts, grab those pants, grab those, trousers, the skirt, whatever it is you put in that first photo. You want to grab them, you want to put them on. If you haven't checked in, some people, Caitlin, they like to try them on week 2 or 3, right? See how they're doing.
Yes.
But some people hold out for the full 5 weeks. So I'm very excited for all of you to put those pants and shorts on, no matter how you felt you did during these 5 weeks, right, Caitlin?
Right.
You got to put them on. You'll be amazed at what happened. So when you're taking that after picture, remember, same time of day as your before. Usually morning is best. That's when you're tallest and skinniest. Number 2 is the same background and ideally uncluttered, and the same angle, right? Because if you tilt the camera differently, you're not actually gonna see the true same. So be really cognizant of how you're taking those after photos. So we're so excited for you. And again, you don't have to share them. We're happy if you do, but you definitely want them for yourself. And Caitlin's been so amazing. If you haven't watched her journey or seen her journey online, she's been doing such an incredible job of just tracking her progress as she goes through the TLS lifestyle and journey. So without further ado, so exciting here. Look at these results. I mean, this is just like jaw-dropping. Caitlin, you've done an incredible thing here. And I want you to share your story with TLS. So go ahead, girl.
So I started TLS, it's probably been about 8 months now, I think. Down 67 pounds. I had a brain tumor that was removed in 2013 that caused a 90-pound weight gain, and also a change in personality. And the TLS has just helped me get back to me, to the true Caitlin. And I'm just here, I'm digging it out. I'm here to help other people. And just, I can't say enough about TLS.
Yeah, it's been, I think you had mentioned that, when they caught the brain tumor, that it was pretty much immediately you're going into surgery. Like
Yes.
there was really no time. And when you woke up, it was like you felt different, you looked different, things were just very different for you. And that struggle of rehabilitation was really real for you, and there was a lot of setbacks with that. And so it took some time, but you had said 90 pounds with that.
Yes.
Now, what was that moment where you went, enough is enough, I need to make a change?
I think it was noticing, like, coming up the stairs. It was a significant struggle. I could not breathe. It was like somebody just ran a mile at like their hardest. And I was like, okay, this is scary. This is very scary. And then I could just see like the like fat sitting and like just growing. And I was just like, this, you're not healthy. And I used to be an athlete and I used to be very fit and very muscular and very active. And I was conformed to like a sedentary lifestyle and I just accepted it. And that was not for me. And I quickly learned that.
Yeah, that's so good. And I mean, you were a collegiate athlete. Like you weren't just an athlete. I mean, you were kind of all-star collegiate. And so, I mean, it really was a complete sort of shift in, your identity. And now you're reclaiming, the Caitlin you want to be, which is really, so inspiring. You're inspiring a lot of people. I remember when your mom told me, you need to hear my daughter's story. I want to, tell you about it. And I said, well, I want to talk to her. I'm like, it's great. You want to tell me, but I want to talk to her. And at that point, I really, I know I encourage you of like, you need to start sharing your story. And what's so incredible about Caitlin is she's already turned around and she did that immediately. She started sharing her journey publicly. And now she's, soon to become a certified TLS coach because she's already helping a lot of people with our program, which is really exciting. I know she's got some of her incredible people in our Shrink a Size. So
Yes.
I know, it was a really big deal for you, Caitlin, to have completed your very first challenge with us as part of your journey when you first committed.
Yes. Yes. The, I don't remember exactly which one it was, but it was the first time
I
since
think
my
it was the
surgery.
team tone up. Was it the team?
Yes. Yes, I think so. It was the first time since my surgery I'd started and finished something.
Yeah.
So that was very exciting. I had great results and I was pumped and just ready to go from there.
Yeah. And that was a 12-week one. So that's a long
Yes.
haul, right? And
Yes, it was.
yeah, you saw it through. And I remember your mom telling me, I think you had lost like, what was it, a dozen inches around your waist alone.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah.
and so, I feel like when I look at these pictures, Caitlin, I feel like you've lost over 100 pounds by now. But this is the interesting thing about TLS is that if you're tracking your inches, Caitlin, I bet they're like your inches are almost as much as your pounds.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you're
I'm due for measurements, so we'll see here.
yeah. So it's going to be pretty significant in the sense of inches. Whereas in a lot of weight loss programs, what we see is a lot of weight loss and they don't tell you about the inches. And in TLS, we're always like, no, man, inches are king. And they're always like just almost as high as the pound loss, if not sometimes more. And it's really a sign that you're losing the right kind of weight. You're losing the fat. You're gaining muscle, you're getting that healthy body composition. And that's why we always encourage people not to obsess about the scale. And I know that recently, Caitlin, you just had one of those moments where you felt like you weren't losing fast enough. And then all of a sudden you put on a shirt and you were like, dang.
Yes, yes, I did. I was like, the scale wasn't moving. It was like 1 or 2 pounds. And I'm like, I just feel like the work that's going in, like the sweat that's coming out, like where are these pounds? And then I put that shirt on and it was like a flowy dress. And I was like, okay, there it is, girl. It's in the inches.
Yeah, it's in the inches. Yeah, because you had said that you had worn it earlier and that it was, it was snug or it was fitted. And
Yes.
now it felt like a tent,
Mhm.
and so these are really important wins to focus on when we're on that TLS lifestyle is how our clothes are feeling. Hence Shrink a Size, because it's really about how you're feeling in those pants and jeans. So let's take stock here for a moment. All of you listening, you're wrapping up your 5 weeks. Maybe you're just a few days after completing your 5 weeks. We're hoping that you transitioned into your next TLS lifestyle, like rapid results, sure and steady, continued commitment, that you're keeping on with things. This is not the end, right? So let's take just a reflection back on the last 5 weeks. How were you doing in those commitments? How were the last 5 weeks? Now, I know we're all way too hard on ourselves. So take a deep breath, everyone. I'm not saying we're assessing everything you did wrong. That's not what we're doing here. Okay, just clarifying. Um, but taking a look at these last 5 weeks, did you use your tracking sheets? Did you follow your menu plan? Did you utilize the supplements and stay on them, use them correctly and consistently? Were you exercising that 4 times a week at minimum for 30 minutes? How did you do with your 2 cardio and your true strength a week? And did you participate in the weekly check-in Zooms? Were you watching them? Were you getting educated? Were you continuing that journey? And when you agree, Kaylin, in coaching with people is when they really commit to these things, they're going to get out of the world results, right?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And even when people have maybe not done as well as they maybe intended or thought they should, or those kinds of thoughts, that they still actually get pretty good results. And
Oh
so,
my gosh. Yeah, phenomenal results.
yeah. And so that I just want to speak to that a little bit, because I do feel like that can kind of create a bit of an excuse to sort of, half measure the program. Right. Like sometimes it inspires people to fully commit, because like, oh my goodness, what would I actually have had happen if I fully committed? And so there's this inspiration to fully commit to TLS. But then there's also on the opposite side of the spectrum where some people might be like, oh, well, I can just half measure TLS and still get great results. And here's what tends to happen with people who do that is there sort of ends up being like a point where there's no more progress, right? Because there are certain habits that we're holding on to that we need to let go of, right? The ones that maybe
Yes.
we're holding on to them because our old identity is a safe place or a known, maybe, kind of devil, kind of thing. Maybe there's some emotional attachments to some things. Like people get emotional attachments to all kinds of things, TV shows, let alone food, right? So people are interesting in and human nature is such that we do like to hold on and resist change. And so even if you were one of those people who maybe did some half measures here and there and you got great results, that we're just going to really encourage you to focus on becoming aware of those awesome habits that you've been building, because that's really what this is about. What have you changed, right? What have you changed in the last 5 weeks? I bet you if you cheated here and there, whatever, but you made a massive improvement. It might be 70%, 80%, 90% improvement to your lifestyle. So let's focus on that. Let's focus on those habits you did build that were so positive, whether it was meal prepping and exercise and eating lots of veggies when you didn't know you liked veggies, all of these things, right, Caitlin? So for you,
Yeah.
what were some of those things? Maybe this round, last round, or team tone up? What about you?
So as far as like some of my struggles this time,
Struggles or what you really feel like you grasped or improved on?
I really tremendously improved on prepping my meals and making sure that I was ready and always had food at my disposal so that I wasn't reaching for something bad per se.
Right.
So I always fuel my body with something that will help me continue to get back into the gym and keep going.
Yeah. And burn fat.
Yes.
Yeah. So the TLS menu plan with our 3 meals and 3 snacks throughout the day is really about keeping those blood sugar levels even, which keeps us in a better mood, keeps us with more level energy, but also allows us to burn fat consistently throughout the day, which is amazing. I mean, who doesn't want to burn fat throughout the day? And so how did y'all do, right? This is about assessing. So how did you all do with those 3 meals and 2 snacks? Were you on par and on point with those? And understanding where you struggled is something you definitely want to bring up to your coach, because they always have solutions. I know, when you've been through a weight loss journey yourself, like Caitlin and I have both, we've heard the excuses because we've said them. Right. And so your
Gotcha.
TLS coach undoubtedly knows what is going on, and maybe some positive ways you can deal with those. So definitely take a moment and really just check in. What did you struggle with? What did you do really well? And check in with those. All right. So we definitely want to hear from you guys on the Shrink a Size page, in the group, or in the comments on this recording, that as we talked about, we've lost inches, we've lost some weight, but what did you gain? What did you gain from this challenge? What are 3 things that you gained from this challenge? And we know that many of you, like I said, lost some inches and some pounds. So definitely let us know what your results were in regards to that. And maybe you lost a negative belief, or you lost a bad habit, maybe. And so I know the 3 things, like for me during this 5-week time period, having gone through the natural disaster that I did, I really gained a even greater confidence in my ability to problem solve and maintain eating healthy despite having no power and no water and like all these kinds of things. So I feel like I have a greater confidence in my abilities to maintain my TLS lifestyle, that there, of all the excuses people use, and that I've used, I'm really proud that I didn't use the hurricane as an excuse. I can say that I gained that. How about you, Caitlin? What did you gain?
I gained the ability to keep moving forward, to not stop. I always said that I would get to a certain place and then I would stop. But I have gained the ability to just keep moving forward no matter what.
Yeah, I love
Like,
that.
just like you said, no matter what, you can get through it. You can keep pushing.
For sure. I love it. So 3 things, you guys, that you gained. Maybe you gained some good habits. Which ones? Maybe you gained some confidence. Maybe you gained, um, you know, uh, uh, the love of veggies. I don't know. Just let us know what you gained from this challenge. 3 things, and 3 things you lost. So again, it could be pounds, inches, habits, beliefs. What was it for you? Did you lose anything during this challenge, Caitlin?
Weight in inches.
Hey, awesome. I love it. Excellent. Me too. Me too. So, and I'm excited about that for everyone. So again, take your after pictures because they're going to be really important. Now, talking about losing and gaining, there is a lot of non-scale victories that come with TLS, like improved energy. And I want everybody to check in, like, how do you feel? Do you feel better? Do you feel more energetic with this lifestyle? Chances are you do. You might have had some ups and downs, but that's because you might still have been detoxing, or, maybe you had something that didn't agree with you the day before. Maybe you had a little bit of sugar or something like that. And you had kind of like a woof, because sometimes that happens when you're eating really clean and then you go back to something. It has a really impactful, didn't we just talk about this, Caitlin? You said you had rice.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes. I had rice instead of cauliflower rice. Yes. I felt awful.
Yeah, immediately. Like, not
Yes.
awful as in guilt, but awful physically.
Yes. 2 bites. That was it. And I was done.
Yeah. And so it's really incredible what happens is we clean the body out, that when we introduce, quote unquote, normal foods, that are more convenience food or white foods, or high glycemic foods like rice, or um, pastas or breads or things. And it's not to say you're never allowed to eat those things again. It's just, you're going to notice that there's a significant shift or change in your energy or how you feel when you do eat those. They're certainly not going to create the same amount of pleasure they used to, right, Keelan?
Yeah, definitely not.
Yeah, and so the pleasure comes from feeling really good when we're on track, and I can definitely say that that is the case for me. When I'm on track, I have better sleep. How many of you had better sleep during, maybe that's one thing you gained, and this can be life changing, you guys, having much, much better sleep. Or your, again, clothing is feeling loose, baggy, or too big. Maybe some of you had a blood panel or have a blood panel coming up. This is something we often see in TLS, is that we're going to see a real improvement in your checkup when it comes to your numbers and things in your blood panel. So be looking for that incredible non-scale victory. I think that is one of the most important ones that we love to hear about, and definitely want you checking in on. Definitely improved hair, skin, nails. My hair grows like a weed now. Great. Love that. One of the things you'll see is in improving your body composition, or your body fat percentage. Inches, as we said, are king. Or that you're just getting stronger. You have better mobility, you have better range of motion in your joints. You might have the ability to do more, right? You can do more exercise. You're not winded when taking the stairs. I bet you have no problem with the stairs now, Caitlin.
Oh gosh, no. No, I'm skipping one or two.
There you go. I mean, amazing, right? So good. You guys be paying attention. Definitely share those with us as well, how you're doing with the non-scale victories. All right. So the very first webinar that I did to set up this round 2 of Shrink to Size, we talked about how our thoughts become our feelings, which lead to our actions, which create our results. This is that process of creation or manifestation. So everything in the room around you, if you take a look at the room around you, from, the computer to a couch to, the fan with the light up ahead, overhead, all of these things first started out as somebody thought of them. They thought it'd be a great idea to create, computer monitor or a laptop. And they had some serious feelings like, hey, I really want to do this, right? This is gonna be amazing. I have a design in me. I have an invention in me. And they took some actions and they created the result. That is the process of manifestation. Everybody even went through this. You are a product, Caitlin. Everyone's a product of this process of manifestation. Your parents had some thoughts and they had some real strong feelings and they had some serious action, and then you resulted 9 months later, right?
Oh gosh.
So this is what happens in the world. And so it becomes really important to become aware. Aware. And we talked about this the other day too, Caitlin, where, TLS is really about bringing awareness about habits, so that as we're going about our day, that we are not just unconsciously putting food in our mouth or unconsciously being sedentary. We're not unconsciously making these choices that are not supporting our goals, that we become aware, right? And this happened to me while I was at the airport. And I really, really, really was doing so on point. And then the Delta Sky Lounge lady brought out the freshly baked apple blossoms, which were like mini apple apple pies. And I was like, oh God, I really, really want one. And I sat at the table staring at them as if my life depended on it. And I was having this whole conversation in my mind about how I should have one or why I shouldn't have one and all of these things. And it was all because I was aware. Now, there was a time in my life where I would have grabbed that without even having a second thought. I might have even grabbed a second one. And I wouldn't have thought a thing about it. But here I am, totally aware that there's this battle going on, raging inside of me of why I shouldn't or should have this stupid apple blossom. And then thankfully, I made a choice. I made a choice to make myself, I had some Trim Cafe and Trim tea in my purse, and I had a protein nut bar that I had bought. And I was like, this will do it. I'll have my Trim Cafe and my little protein nut bar, and it's going to be amazing. And I will feel a lot better after that. versus having the apple blossom and telling myself I deserve it, or it's okay, or whatever justification I wanted to give myself for having it. I wasn't allowing myself to do that. And so this is like when we become aware of our thoughts and our feelings, we can take different actions. That wonderful spot between feelings and actions is where choice lives. And when we understand where choice lives and we are aware of the thoughts and feelings, we can choose differently. That's how we build new habits. That's how we build new belief systems that serve us. So in a moment, this is where I want you to grab your pen and paper, and I want you to just take a moment, get really grounded, take a deep breath, get comfortable in your chair, and just really feel where you're at in this moment in time. Wiggle your toes. Where are you on planet Earth right now? And just feel really in your body. So if you wiggle your fingers and you wiggle your toes, you get really in your body, which is good. And you take that nice deep breath in, fill those lungs. You're even more present, which is perfect. So I want you to write down, for those of you listening to us here tonight, or whenever you're watching this, is the first idea, the first statement, or the first word. And there's no right or wrong here, so no judging, just the first thing that comes to mind when I say the word eating healthy. Now, that shouldn't have taken you much longer to write down that first idea, that first statement, that first reaction. That's what we're looking for, because that's the most authentic thought, is that first one. Now, I know that years and years ago, almost 2 decades ago, my first thought would have been boring. Right? That would have been the first word that came to mind, is boring. Could be expensive. It could be all kinds of things, right? And so for those of you who did this, the very first webinar with me, I want you to check, did it change? Did the word change? Was it different then than it is now 5 weeks later? I'm curious. Did we move this idea of healthy eating in a more positive direction for you? I hope so. Caitlin, what was the first thing that came to mind?
The first thing that came to mind was no other option.
Ah, that's powerful. I love that. No other option. Good stuff. All right, you guys, nice deep breath. We're going to go to our next statement, our next concept here. First thing that comes to mind, working out and exercise. Write it down. I hope you kept the notes from the very first time you guys did this, but Caitlin, what came to mind?
Dig deep and get it done.
Dig deep and get it done. I like it. I had fun come to mind. I noticed you have statements. I have one words. So I have the best gym here in Florida where I live, and they make working out and exercise so much fun. I never thought a gym could make exercise fun, but they do. Best coaches. And so now I have this, like, it's fun, not I have to do it. But I'm really choosing to do it. So it's really, really a cool shift for me. And I hope that those of you who, in this 5 weeks of feeling a little more accountable to your exercise, that we're, again, working towards a more positive belief system here. All right, meal prep, first thing that comes to mind. Caitlin?
Essential.
Essential. Right on. I kind of still have like a even to this day, right? It's not my favorite thing to do, but I do it anyway. So I still kind of have like a because, and I will tell you this, that I could not have gotten to where I had gotten with my weight loss or my healthy lifestyle without meal prep. But now we're talking almost 2 decades of living this lifestyle and maintaining a healthy weight and getting stronger and looking younger. I mean, these are the things that are happening. It's great. But and I know what's happening for Caitlin too. So what's with meal prep, I don't have to do as much meal prep as I did when I was first starting. But I will caveat this, that I am never without healthy options. Okay. And I often, and I'm kind of a stickler for fresh veggies. So I don't like to cook my veggies and then put them in Tupperware and put them in the fridge for the next day or the day after. I won't do that. Like, I will prep my proteins and I'll keep my veggies fresh. So that is the evolution of having this become a lifestyle. So for some of you who are like, I'm just not going to do this for the rest of my life, understand that you may not have to. And so even if it's like like it was with me, understand that if you commit to that discipline long enough, it becomes a lifestyle. So I want you to feel like there's a light at the end of the tunnel if you're like me. Okay. Weight loss. First thing that comes to mind.
It's going to happen.
Oh, it is, girl. It's not going to happen. It is happening. So I love that. It's going to happen. I wonder, what was your guys's, and was it different than the first one? All right, next one. Take a nice deep breath in, everyone. Get grounded. First thing that comes to mind when I say healthy lifestyle.
You're there, girl.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. I love it. Perfect. First thing that comes to mind, you guys, when I say your body.
I'm proud of you.
Oh, that's so great. Yay. So good. I know for a lot of people who have been through, a struggle like you have, Caitlin, with their health, with feeling debilitated, with feeling hopeless, with feeling sick, with feeling, these types of things where, it feels like almost like your body is your enemy. And it's fighting against you kind of thing, that this can be a really positive shift, living the TLF's lifestyle where where it really feels so different, after a time where you're just like, oh, my body is a gift. I'm strong. I'm capable. I have energy, and anyone who's been on the planet longer than I feel like 35 years, can look back at pictures of themselves sometimes and go like, what was I complaining about? Why did I look in the mirror and go, hey, like find my imperfections? Like, I wish I looked like that still, And so I feel like there's wisdom in age, truly, looking back and going, wow, what was I so concerned about? I looked fabulous. And I think that's a mentality and a belief system that's really important to adopt no matter what. No matter what, it's just always a love and respect for our body. Because I always say, who we truly are is, and this statement came from a writer, Anna, Anne, I'm missing her last name for a moment. It'll come to me. Our true self is outside space and time. And I like that statement. And she said after that, we are every age we've ever been. And I like that too. Because, being in my 40s has been a bit of a mind bender for me. And so, I like this idea that I'm every age I've ever. I'm like, yes, I am every age. I am still that stubborn 6-year-old sometimes. So, but I feel like we get this one, I always call it the meat suit. We get this one meat suit. It's it. We don't get an extra. It's not in the closet just in case this one breaks down. You know, it's like we get this one meat suit, and it is so important to love and respect and take care of it. And I think, you know, people say you only live once, and I'm like, exactly. And that's exactly why I make healthy choices, so that my body is holding up and doing cool stuff when I'm old, right? Like,
Yes.
I want to be doing really cool stuff when I, you know, have a cotton top up there, you know? So, all right, hitting your goal. First thing that comes to mind.
You did it.
Yes. Exactly. So, what's the first thing, you guys, that came to mind for you when saying hitting your goal? And again, I hope you get to look back at your notes and see if things have changed, progressed in a more positive way. Because truly, strong mind will equal a strong body. And as you work on your strong body, it's going to equal a strong mind. It actually works in conjunction. Wouldn't you agree, Caitlin?
Oh gosh, yeah.
Well, and especially, you know, you have both sides of the coin, of an experience, because I really feel that athletes develop this really strongly. You know, there's reasons they call athletes champions, because, you know, they're really overcoming so many false limitations to their mind and their body. And when we've allowed ourselves to get to a point where we look in the mirror one day and go, how did I get here? You know, and I need to change. That also requires letting go of false limitations and developing that strong mind and that strong body. So no matter if you're coming from a place of what I'd call dis-ease, where your body is not in ease, and you're moving towards health, this is a journey you're on of building that strong mind and that strong body, just like an athlete would. So we want to take a look at the way we're thinking about things and become really aware. Is this thing I'm telling myself, is this story, is this excuse, is this, you know, belief, is this pattern that I'm holding onto, is it a supporting story or is it a limiting story? Is it limiting for me from being my truest, most powerful self, my healthiest version, or is it supporting me staying the same? You know, what is a new story that will help you reach your goals? And so, for instance, you know, I really had to do a lot of work around exercise, because I grew up with, you know, I didn't do any exercise, Caitlin. I wasn't an athlete. I was the kid who like wrote fake doctor's notes to get out of gym class. You know, I quit swimming lessons. I, you know, I wasn't at recess or in sports. Nobody wanted me on their team. Like, I just was like all thumbs and no what I thought athletic ability. It wasn't until I was a young adult that I realized that I was strong, that, you know, in engaging in a lifestyle process like this, I realized that I'm actually quite athletic. But I had this whole story that I wasn't. And if I would have held on to that, if I would have taken that as gospel truth, even though it was my entire experience growing up, which is often why we take these things for gospel truth, I don't know where I'd be, Caitlin. You know, I don't know what version of Melanie, but you certainly wouldn't have met her. So, you know, what this question is so crucial, that we're asking ourselves, okay, is this story that I'm telling myself keeping me the same? And the same is not where I want to be necessarily, right? So, anything come to mind for you, Caitlin?
For me, it was just telling myself that I will finish, that I won't stop, because I always kind of went into things knowing like, yeah, I'll say I'll do it just so, mom or dad gets off my back. I'm not going to finish. They'll leave me alone. And then it became, I'm going to finish. Now I'm going to finish and I'm going to hit that goal. And now I'm going to hit this goal. And now I'm going to hit this goal. And I'm also going to help this person hit their goal. So that's my new story.
I love it. Right on. I find affirmations are a really great way of building that news story that supports us. I used affirmations for 20 plus years. I don't think I'll ever stop using affirmations. And that is like a positive statement that you say out loud. Now you can have them written down, you can have them post-it notes all over the place. Positive words, positive statements that reinforce the direction you want to go, reinforce positive beliefs about who we are. I know I did post in the Shrink a Size group a whole post of like, I don't know, I think there was probably 30 different potential affirmations you could grab from, the ones that felt like, oh, I need this one. This is what I want to create. This is what I want to affirm into my being and affirm into my life. I know I use those all the time. And, I can't say enough about how that is so important for creating that strong mind. And if you use them first thing in the morning, you're far more likely to have a on par day, right? It's going to be a great day. Um, Actually, that's an affirmation some of my really close friends always use. It's going to be a great day. What a way to start the day, just by declaring and affirming it's going to be great. Do you use affirmations, Caitlin?
I do. I'm the post-it note around my mirror.
Oh, good. I love it. Planning and execution. So using those tools, right? So the tracking sheets, the journal, the menu plans, highlighting those foods, going to the grocery store, all that is so, so crucial. If we're not using tools, we are the tool. Right. And so that's also a quote from one of my very close friends. And it's so true. If we're not using leverage, we're working too hard. We're trying too hard. And when and what I mean by leverage is the tools, but also the education, because then we're really just using willpower instead of transforming our mind and our body in this process. And that's really what we're looking to do. And then accountability. It couldn't be more important to continuing, your journey in TLS. And it's so fun to just jump from challenge to challenge, but stay on track in between, or have your own accountability groups or your own accountability buddy in between. And so I know that, Caitlin, and your mom, you guys started with Team Tone Up. And then by the time that we did Shrink a Size, you had a group with you that you were coaching through, Caitlin, and now you got even a bigger group this second round. So just again, progress, right? That's what we're looking for, is just progress. And so you had accountability, now you're giving accountability. And when you agree, Caitlin, that when you're coaching, there's a much stronger sense of accountability for you.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Oh yeah. It's almost kind of like a little bit of guilt too. Like, you better get your butt in that gym.
I think I get the guilt thing, but I feel like it's it's like holding the bar a little higher, because other people, you're leading other people. And so you want to lead by example. So it's like,
right.
It's more of like holding the bar a little higher, right? And going,
Yes.
okay, since I'm holding them accountable and I'm leading them, I better be leading by example. And so
Yes.
there's this higher sense of accountability that comes with becoming a coach. And so it's one of my favorite things about coaching people is the accountability. And so for any of you who have loved TLS and loved your journey so far with us, definitely talk to your TLS coach about looking into if being a TLS coach is a fit for you. It may or may not be, but you could definitely take a look into that, because it's very fun and rewarding. So I want to reiterate, you guys, this is the start of your TLS lifestyle, not the end of it. This is very important to chunk out into small goals, especially if you have a significant amount of weight to lose. It's even more important to chunk it out in goals, 12 weeks, 5 weeks, 8 weeks. Just keep chunking it out into small, so that you're maintaining, you're progressing, and that you're enjoying the journey. that's also a really big key to this, right? So what is your specific next challenge? What's your next goal? And I know that we're headed into this holiday season. And we have an awesome TLS survival guide, so that you can thrive during the holidays. Gives you lots of really great tips about what to do about all the parties and the social gatherings and the treats that come to the office and the blah blah blahs and the blardy blars. So it's all there, you guys. What's your next goal, Caitlin?
My next goal is more so like a workout goal. I want to
Nice.
hit my 300-pound deadlift.
Woo, girl, that is insane. Wow, that's amazing.
I'm at 265, so we're working on
Wow,
it.
good for you. That's incredible. Those are fun goals to have, where you're getting stronger, you're getting, tracking how long it takes you to run a mile, walk a mile, or then walk a mile, and then run a mile, right? When we're tracking these things, it actually becomes really motivational. And that's why I love my heart rate monitor for my workouts, because it helps me stay honest about what kind of effort I'm putting in. So, plus it tracks, the My Zone is the one I use, and it's got an app and it tracks all kinds of things, and it keeps me really motivated. And so that's why these little challenges and these little ways of tracking are so crucial to continuing your progress, so that you're staying on track. Please don't just end this and think, hey, I got this. I don't think I ever want to be like, I got this, because I know that that's going to be the day things are over for me. So I'm just going to stay doing what's worked for me for 20 years. How about that? So you guys, just a huge congratulations to all of you for seeing through the shrink of size. And no matter how you feel you did, you saw it through, because you're here. You're listening to the very last webinar and participating. And that means you finished what you started. And that's something to be absolutely proud of and feel amazing about. And focus again on all the positives that you gained through this challenge, the habits. We want to hear about those successes. So 3 things you gained, 3 things you lost. And if you noticed any shift in your mindset around, all the things that go around weight loss and healthy living. Caitlin, thanks so much for joining us. We're so
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you're so welcome. Just so exciting to just have be watching this incredible journey you're on. You're so inspiring.
Thank you.
Have just an incredible amount of strength and gifts to share the world. So I'm so glad that you're here with us, and now a TLS coach. So congratulations, everybody. Thanks, Caitlin. We'll see you soon.
Thank you.